Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. Today I want to show you how I made this beautiful trifold shutter card featuring the Pansy Patch bundle and Pansy Patch Designer Series paper that go live in the upcoming annual catalog from Stampin' Up! So if you're watching this before May 5th, these products go live when the catalog launches on May 5th. So you'll be able to get your hands on them through my online store starting on May 5th. So what I want to do is show you how beautiful this card is, but also show you how it's actually not that hard to do. Once you've got your measurements and your scoring lines set, really it's just a matter of decorating. So let me switch over to my desktop and show you my card. Okay, so this is the card that I shared on my blog today. So it is, it actually works out to be 3.5 by 5.5. So it's a little bit narrower than a standard card base, but it's the same length as a standard card. And when you open it, it opens and it will stand. So it's like this, but it is this trifold. And so anybody who receives this card, I'm sure will go wow when they get it. So as I said, it's really not that hard once you've got these score lines and the cut lines in the middle. And then it's just a matter of having fun decorating. Okay, so let me bring in, first of all, let me show you the bundle. So this is the Pansy Patch bundle. You get all of these stamp sets to be able to stamp pansies. Don't you just love pansies? Some really pretty sentiments. And then the bundle also includes the dies. So you can cut out the stamped images with these open dies, and then you've got a whole series of dies that allow you to make actual 3D pansies, which I will show you on an upcoming video about how to put these together. It can be a little bit overwhelming, I have to say. And then you've got some for the leaves, and then these 3 pieces, which I'm going to use on my card, that create this beautiful little pansy bud. Actually reminds me of a jolly jump up. I don't know. That's what we used to call the baby pansies. I'm sure they have an official name, but we called them jolly jump ups when I was a kid. Okay, so that's the bundle. It's beautiful. You're gonna love it. You're gonna want to add this to your wish list. Let me just get my cardstock, everything over here. Okay. So I've got all my pieces cut. Actually, I wanted to bring this in. So I'm actually using, this card has all 5 of the new Stampin' Up! In colors. So I just wanted to show you those. So the card base is Evening Evergreen. It's just this beautiful dark green shade. And then Soft Succulent is one of my favorites. Then this is Pale Papaya. I love oranges, so this is definitely up my alley. And then this has also got the Fresh Freesia, which is kind of this light purpley color, and then Polished Pink in these pansies over here. So it's got all 5 of the new in colors in it. Just so pretty. Now the card I posted, I have 2 cards made. The card I posted has slightly different designer series paper on it because I've used up all of my paper. Oh my gosh, the dog. Oh, sorry. My dog is here. I didn't realize, and there's dog barking outside. Goodness. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is bring in your trimmer. Your piece of cardstock is cut 5.5 by 10.5. And you want to score this. As I said, all of these measurements and written instructions will be on my blog. So you're scoring. You want to score this at 1 3/4 and 3.5. Looking at my instructions to make sure I get it right. And then 7. And then 8 3/4. Okay, so that's the score. You have 4 score lines. Again, 1 3/4, 3.5, 7, and 8 3/4. Now you want to just turn your card, and you're going to cut along the long edge at 1.5, and you're going to cut between the first score line and the last score line. So just take and put your blade right in at that first score line and go all the way to the last score line. Turn it 180 degrees. Again, mark it at 1.5 and do the same from the first score line to the last score line and cut it at 1.5. And so you end up with a piece. Put my trimmer out of the way. You end up with a piece that has the 4 score lines on it, and then it's cut like this and ends at these score lines. Okay, so the next tricky bit is folding. So let me bring my card back in. Okay, so if you think of these as mountains or peaks and valleys, so you've got a peak and then a valley, a peak and then a valley. And then opposite here, so you've got a peak and a valley. So these don't get folded, these 2 ones here. And then again at the bottom is the same, a peak, valley, peak, valley. So what I start to do is just take this and fold this up to form a peak, and the same at the bottom. And then just take your fingers and push this down because these are valleys. Remember, peak, valley, peak. So peak, valley, so then this is a peak, then this is a valley. Just alternate it. Now, this one, because you have a valley here, you want this one to be a peak. So you can just take it. Once you've kind of got it just started, it will go together nicely. Okay, so those are 2 peaks and the valley, and then this is a valley here. These 2 folds, even though there's a bit of a score line here, don't get folded. These are flat. This one's in the middle here and here. Okay, so peak, valley, and the same at the bottom, peak, valley, and then this is opposite. So these are valleys, these are peak, and this is a valley. So then you can just kind of take, and your card will start just to go together. Okay, let's do that again. So your first fold here at the top and the bottom, this first score line is a peak. Then this is a valley, peak, valley, and then in the middle, nothing, no, these don't get folded, come across, because this is a valley, this one is a peak. So then you want to just take your bone folder and burnish these creases nicely so that it will stay folded. You can do it on the inside here as well. Oops. All right. So now the fun part starts. So you've got your card folded, it stands nicely. So let's bring in all of your pieces. So I've gone ahead, these are extras I'm going to cut. I've gone ahead and cut these. As I said, all of the measurements will be on my blog so that you're not panicking to write them down. And I'm just noticing that this is cut a little long, so I just have to trim this just to make sure. So this is supposed to be 5 1/4. Yeah. There we go. I wonder if I have my other one the same. Yep. I wasn't paying attention when I cut those. Okay. I might have to check some of the others. All right, so I have 2 pieces of, this is soft succulent. And these pieces will go, let's fold this out. Those pieces will go there and there. These pieces are cut 1 5/8 by 5 3/8. And you have 2 pieces of designer series paper that are cut 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. I've got 2 pieces of designer series paper. You can use all the same designer series paper or do what I did. I switched it up. So these pieces that go kind of in this middle long slot are 1 3/8 by 3 3/8.
And you've got 2 pieces of the same designer series paper, and they are cut 2 3/8 by 1 5/8. I've got a piece of designer series paper. Oops, I'm going to flip that over. Folded it. Okay, this is cut. What is this cut? 3 3/8 by 2 3/8. And then I've got 4 pieces of cardstock. This is soft succulent that go in these 4 corners. And these are cut 1 3/8 by 1 5/8. So it's just a matter of now adhering all of these pieces together. Like I said, you can use all the same designer series paper, or you can switch it up like I did. I just found that with the pansies, it was feeling awfully busy to use all the same designer series paper, but it really is up to you. Let's do a card. Okay, so we're just adhering these down. Oops. You can use whichever adhesive. You might find that the multi-purpose adhesive glue gives you a little bit more time to move your pieces around and get them into the right spot. I tend to use Stampin' Seal. It's just something I've got used to, so really up to you. Okay, so those go on that the front panels. And then there's no rhyme nor reason to how this is actually going together. It's really just the pieces that I'm picking up tend to be going on first. As long as you keep they're all different for the most part, so yeah, it's pretty easy to figure out where they go. This is going to go in the middle. Isn't this pale papaya so pretty? Oh gosh, I love it. Okay, oops. Now, let's go here. Make sure I have them going the right way. At one point I was almost gluing one down and my pansy was standing on his head. Okay, and then the last pieces, these pieces here, I'm just using cardstock. You could actually stamp on these if you wanted to. Again, I felt my card was busy enough with all the beautiful pansies, so I decided just to leave these. You could also emboss them using a embossing folder. All sorts of ways to decorate your card. There, one more piece. So it doesn't take long. The fussiness is the cutting them out, but the fun part is actually the decorating. Okay, so there's the card that's put together. And it folds up like that. So that will be my front. Now, a couple of things I want to do. I'm using the layering circles, and you are using the 3rd and 4th circle. At least that's what I use to create my label. So I'm going to stamp on a scrap of basic white. I'm going to stamp thank you, and I'm using the Evening Evergreen ink. And then I'm going to stamp a sentiment, and get your finger in the ink. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp a sentiment there. Close that before I get this ink all over me. All right, so I'm just going to cut this off. I'm going to fussy cut that out, but what I want to do is bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm going to cut my thank you, and that's out of the smallest circle. And then I've got a piece of pale papaya, and I'm going to cut, make room for this, I'm going to cut the largest circle, and this will be the mat behind my sentiment. Oops, there we go. Once you have it going through, it works. Okay. So
That's that, and that's that. So while I have my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, let me bring my dies back in for the pansies. So for the little bud, you need, I have missing a piece to cut green. Hang on. Okay, so I just need a little piece of Evening Evergreen to cut my, this is the stem, that here. And then I need just a little piece to cut. Now my inside, so there are two pieces for the bud. There is this more solid piece that is the inside, so I'm going to do that one in Calypso Coral. And then I've got my little scrap of Pale Papaya. Let's use that. I don't want to waste. Okay, and then you just need a little scrap of that for the little cap that goes over top. So let's put these on. And push that till it starts going through. There we go. Oops. Oh, come on. I'm trying to do it with one hand and it's not working. Oh, everything's shifting. Okay, there we go. So I've got that piece. Don't lose my little dies. Wouldn't be the first time that one of those went flying. Okay, so there's out of the way. So there's that, and I just need to use my Take Your Pick tool to get my stem out. Okay, put that back so I don't lose it. And then that, my dies. Okay, now, so I'm just going to take some dimensionals and put my thank you in behind. There we go, and just pop that up on top of the Pale Papaya circle. Now to put these together, I'm just going to use the multi-purpose adhesive glue, and I'm going to just put a little bit of glue. I just find this works. For some of these really small pieces, it works because it gives me a chance to kind of manipulate it and move it around. So just a little bit of glue, and then again on here, just on the back of this. You don't need a lot. And then this just kind of fits over that. Isn't that pretty? Just love that. Okay, so we're going to use dimensionals on the back of my circle for my label. And this will go, bring my card back in. This is going to go, oops, I need some ribbon first. So this is the Pale Papaya woven ribbon. It's just so pretty. It's Pale Papaya and white. It's got a white edge. And what you need is a piece that is about the width of, so about 3.5 inches, and double it. So you need something that about 7 inches. And you can use a little bit of Stampin' Seal or just some adhesive down here to hold this on. So you just kind of take it and then fold it back on itself. There we go, like that. And then your sentiment will go right in the middle of your card. And again, a little bit of your multi-purpose adhesive glue on the back.
And just put that there now, just like that. You can tuck your stem in behind if you want, so it doesn't cover up the sentiment. And then the very last thing, or they're hidden, are these adorable little bumblebee trinkets. Let's see, so they come 20 in the package, so you'll have lots of these. And use a glue dot on the back. And just I use my take your pick tool to pick it up. And now you've got a bumblebee. There, that's my card finished. Isn't that adorable? So pretty. I know that whoever gets this card is just going to love it. Right, let me switch back over. Oops. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that card. Oh, I forgot to put the sentiment in the middle. Goodness sakes. Hang on. I have to transition back and put my sentiment. I stamped it and then didn't. So I'm just fussy cutting. Sorry, off camera. So I'm just fussy cutting this out. You could punch it out. You could use a die cut. But I just find this quick and easy, and I kind of like the look of it. One step, forgot. Goodness, can't forget the sentiment in the middle. There, that goes just like that. Now the card is finished. All right, now I can do this. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this card. I think I forgot to say that I actually used the measurements from a card that Kimberly Morris shared on her blog. I know there are other measurements out there, but this is the one I found and decided that it was kind of the perfect size for my card. I was looking for one that would make a standard card size that is 4 1/4 by 5, and I wasn't able to find that. So anyway, this one works really well. So all of the written measurements and written instructions and measurements are on my blog. If you have questions, please post them either on my blog or on this video. I'm happy to answer your questions. I hope it was clear. I hope you have fun with this because it is such a fun card to make. And like I said, anybody who gets this card is just going to love it and go, wow. While you're here, I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you get notified when I post more videos. And if you want to place an order come May 5th for this bundle, the link to my online store is available on my blog. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great day. Happy stamping. Bye.